She sold her body, stole a car, broke a man's face with a wrench, and bled through a glass table, all to save her family's home. And when she finally made it back, her mom said, I never wanted the house anyway. Hey, I'm Leisha, and this is Real Reckless Reviews. Today, we're diving into one of Netflix's newest films, Night Always Comes. Let's get into it. Lynette, played by Vanessa Kirby, is working multiple jobs, including a little escorting, to raise a $25,000 down payment in under 24 hours so she can secure her family's home for herself, her mother Doreen, and her older brother Kenny, who has Down syndrome. When her mother Doreen vanishes on the day they're supposed to sign the papers, Lynette is forced to improvise, navigate through dangerous deals, and push her own limits to avoid the eviction. Over one relentless night, she steals a car, cuts shady bargains with ex-clients, and confronts her own past. With the clock ticking and every plan escalating the risk, Night Always Comes becomes a gritty, time-pressured thriller about survival, sacrifice, and just how far one woman will go to protect the only place she calls home. Lynette has been working multiple jobs to scrape together $25,000 to save her family's home for her mom Doreen and her brother Kenny. On signing day at the bank, Lynette and the seller wait for Doreen to come so she can sign the papers for the buy. However, Doreen's trifling behind is nowhere to be found. When Lynette finally tracks her down, she discovers that Doreen blew through the entire down payment for the house on a new car. After some begging and pleading, the seller agrees to give Lynette until the next morning to have the $25,000 and sign the papers. Now, panicking about their impending eviction, Lynette ditches her bar shift and calls a man named Scott, who is a former client of hers. She shuffles into the hotel bar to meet him, looking a little worn down. Lynette immediately asks him to use his company to invest in her family getting the house. Scott basically laughs in her face. He says, I'm not giving you no money for no house, but you can come up to the room and get it how you live. So Lynette goes through with one last date. Afterwards, Scott doubles her usual $500 fee, but he lets her know that that was their last date. After he leaves, he discovers he left his Mercedes-Benz keys behind in the room with Lynette. Desperate for any type of money, Lynette takes the car. But shortly after she drives it around, she freaks out and stashes the car under a bridge. Scott immediately starts calling her about his car, while she tries to figure out her next move. Still $24,000 short, Lynette tracks down an escort friend and a senator's mistress named Gloria. Lynette immediately starts demanding that Gloria pay her back $3,000 that she loaned her. Gloria finally, reluctantly, hands over $500 from a hidden safe in the apartment. This apartment belongs to Gloria's married senator boyfriend, by the way. The $500 is not nearly enough, but that's all Gloria is willing to give her out of the safe. So Lynette decides she's gonna get into that safe. She waits until Gloria leaves, and then Lynette goes to try to proposition her co-worker Cody, played by Stephen James, who is also an ex-felon. Cody is pretty suspicious at first, but Lynette convinces him to come back to the apartment and look at the safe for $400. Once they get back to the apartment, Cody insists he can't open the safe, but he knows someone who can. They haul the safe to a rundown trailer park looking garage where Cody's contact smashes it open with a sledgehammer. The safe is filled with cash, Rolexes, and bags of drugs. Fearing that he was put in a dangerous situation, the meth head looking thug starts freaking out. He grabs Lynette and threatens her, and a full-on brawl breaks out. Cody starts fighting the guys, and Lynette grabs everything that was in the safe and puts it in her bag. She tries to run out, but one of the meth thugs grabs her. She has to defend herself, so she gets a big wrench and throws it at his head and gets away. Cody managed to get away too, and he gets the car and comes and picks up Lynette, and they get out of there. The safe had $19,000 cash. Lynette is still $6,000 short from her $25,000 goal. Lynette decides to turn Scott's Mercedes-Benz into cash, and then they go and pick up her brother Kenny. Lynette tells Cody about the stolen Mercedes, hoping it might help her close the gap. He says he knows a way to get the rest of the money, but he's lying. They head to where she originally stashed the car, and Cody turns on her, snatching the bag and the Mercedes keys, and then running off. Lynette loses it. She guns the engine and hits him with the car, yanks the bag back, and tosses him the keys. Kenny bursts into tears, but Lynette soothes him with pancakes in a reminder that he's the only one that truly has her back. She's still about $5,000 short and running out of time. With daylight closing in, Lynette shows up at her ex-boyfriend's house at 3 in the morning. Tommy is an older guy she was with when she was just 16 and living on her own. She tries to guilt him into buying the drugs she grabbed from the safe, hoping he'll feel something about what he did to her back then. When Lynette calls him out for pushing her into prostitution at 16, Tommy cold cuts her off and tells her to never contact him again. Tommy doesn't have the full amount that she needs, but he has another buyer lined up who can give her the rest of the money that she needs before time runs out. Lynette and Kenny heads to the buyer Blake's house in the suburbs, where a late night party is in full swing. She's there to make a deal, but Blake has other plans. He must have heard about her reputation from Tommy. He tries to pressure her into sex as part of the payment, but Lynette doesn't hesitate. She smashes him over the head, grabs the money, and starts frantically searching for Kenny so they can leave. She finds him, but Blake accuses her of robbery, and the crowd turns hostile. They grab her and lift her up before dropping her through a glass table. She is then kicked out of the party. She and Kenny make it home just before sunrise. Doreen is waiting. She had been calling Lynette all night, worried about Kenny. Lynette tells her she spent the entire night replacing the $25,000 her mom wasted on a new car. As Doreen pulls glass from Lynette's back, Doreen calmly says she never wanted the house anyway. She'd rather see the house burn. Lynette finally has the money, but it's not enough. She still needs her mom to sign the contract for the house, but Doreen refuses. Doreen has already made plans to move in with her friend. Doreen is taking Kenny with her and leaving Lynette on her own, just like she did when Lynette was 16. Lynette breaks down. She wants to know why she fought so hard for something her mom didn't care about. Doreen fires back, listing Lynette's mistakes, including her relationship with Tommy when she was just 16. Lynette asks why she didn't protect her when she needed it most. Doreen doesn't even flinch. She just doesn't care anymore. Lynette is stunned. She goes to her room, lies down, and breaks down. Then the phone rings. It's the seller. He tells her the house has already been sold to someone else. Even if her mom had agreed to sign the papers, it wouldn't have mattered. Lynette gives Kenny a quiet goodbye. They promise to always look out for each other. She also leaves some money for Kenny and Doreen on the table. Then she grabs the rest of the cash, gets in her car, and drives off with no destination. She spent her whole life fighting for her family. Now, she's finally gonna fight for herself. Night Always Comes was gritty, intense, and kept me locked in from start to finish. Yes, Lynette made some wild choices, but her determination never let up. She was fighting for something real, even when everything around her was falling apart. She's not just hustling, she was surviving. Lynette works multiple jobs just to scrape together enough money to try to keep her childhood home. She's the one holding everything together, caring for her brother Kenny, who has Down syndrome, while dealing with a mother who's emotionally absent and financially reckless. Every decision she makes is driven by desperation, but also by love. She's not chasing luxury, she's chasing stability. What makes Lynette so compelling is that she never gives up. Even when she's betrayed, assaulted, or bleeding through a glass table, she keeps going. She's resourceful, emotionally raw, and painfully human. You watch her make bad choices, but you never stop rooting for her because you know she's doing it all for her family. Night Always Comes didn't blow up like a blockbuster, but it definitely made noise. This film pulled in over 11 million views in its first week on Netflix and landed in the number 2 spot on their global top 10. That's pretty impressive for a gritty, character-driven thriller with no franchise hype or flashy marketing. Critics were mixed, and audiences didn't all vibe with the film, but the numbers don't lie. People showed up for Lynette's story. Maybe it was Vanessa Kirby's performance, maybe it was the raw survival energy, or maybe folks just wanted something real. Either way, this film found its lane. So yeah, go check out this film, Night Always Comes, now streaming on Netflix. If you made it this far, you already know this movie was a ride. If you like this breakdown, hit that subscribe button and stick around for more reckless reviews. Drop your thoughts in the comments too. Was Lynette doing too much or just doing what she had to do? Was Lynette reckless or just super real? I want to hear from you guys. This is Real Reckless Reviews, and I'll see you in the next breakdown. Stay bold, stay reckless, and stay human. Bye, y'all.